I attempted a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon White 2 using only Pokemon that are able to evolve via an Evolutionary Stone. And because this is a Nuzlocke, we're going to be using the following rules. You can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter on each route. You can only catch that Pokemon if it does evolve via an Evolutionary Stone. If a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead. You're not allowed to use items in battle. You must play on set mode, and you cannot level your Pokemon past the next gym leader's ace Pokemon, so we are implementing the level cap rule. For my starter Pokemon, we decided to select Tepig, but it really doesn't matter because Tepig does not evolve via an Evolutionary Stone, so we will not be able to use them, and we'll have to play through the game a little bit until we can get our actual first encounter. And once we get up to Route 20, we're able to get a Sunkern in the grass who's able to evolve via a Sunstone. He will be the only Pokemon we have for the first gym, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but Sunkern should definitely be up to the challenge. First gym battle of the run is against Sharon, who has a Patrat and a Lillipup against our lone Sunkern, so we're going to have to do some really good damage with our Sunkern here. We are just going to start off by setting up with some growths here. Growth raises your attack and special attack, which means our Mega Drains are going to be doing a lot more damage as the opposing Patrat fires off with a tackle. After the tackle, we are just going to set up a Leech Seed as we figure a little bit of passive recovery from the Leech Seed will really help us out and keep our Sunkern as healthy as possible. As Patrat fires off another tackle, bringing us up to 14 HP before we get a little bit more passive recovery with Leech Seed. We're going to get off a couple more growths here in order to set up our Mega Drain as much as possible. So here's another growth as we continue to set up on this Patrat, and we're really hoping this makes the matchup against the Lillipup a little bit more manageable for our Sunkern here. We do go all the way down to 11 HP before our Leech Seed recovery, so we are getting pretty low here. So we figure it's time to set off and fire off our first Mega Drain to get a lot of damage down on those Patrat and actually get the clean knockout, bringing us all the way back up to 25 HP. After some more Mega Drains and some tackles, we are able to survive against the Lillipup on 13 HP and fire off one last Mega Drain here to get the kill and to get our first gym badge against Sharon, which was huge, before we can go off and get another encounter for this run. And speaking of that next encounter, we're able to head all the way up to Verbank Complex, where we are able to find a Growlithe. And luckily, this Growlithe is one with Intimidate, which is such an amazing ability to have here. So we're going to throw a Great Ball at it, and we're going to add this Growlithe to our team for our second Pokemon, which is definitely going to help out with the next two gyms, being the Poison-type gym and the Bug-type gym. So Growlithe is going to be a huge asset for us. The second gym battle is going to be another 2v2 as Roxy has a Coughing and a Whirlipede at level 16 and level 18. So we're going to lead off with our Sunkern here. It's a little bit of a dangerous spot going up against a Poison type. We're going to come out and fire off a Grass Whistle to put the Coughing asleep. From there, we're going to set up a Leech Seed, which is definitely going to help with the little bit of passive recovery we can get. Leech Seed is going to be huge for us in this run as Coughing stays asleep. We are going to switch into our Growlithe to get an Intimidate off as the Coughing is asleep here, but unfortunately the Coughing will wake up and hit us with a Smog. But because we have that Leech Seed, we are going to be able to heal back and stay very, very healthy all the way up to 51 HP at full health. From there, we're going to fire off Return, which with Max Happiness is going to do a lot of damage as Coughing comes in and fires off an Assurance into us. We are going to get some more Leech Seed recovery here as we're able to come in and fire off another Return, and we are able to get the kill, knocking out the first Pokemon of this gym battle. Next up, coming in is going to be the Whirlipede, the scary Whirlipede. And we are going to be able to come in and hit it with a super effective Flame Wheel because Whirlipede is a Bug-type Pokemon as well. Unfortunately, we do get hit with the Poison Point, but we're prepared for that as we have a Pecha Berry to heal off that poison and minimize the amount of damage this Venoshock is going to do. Still hurts pretty good, getting us to 35 HP, but we are going to come in and fire off one more Flame Wheel, taking down the Whirlipede and earning us our second gym badge before we head up to the next city in Castelia City and we're able to get some more Pokemon. The next Pokemon we are going to be able to find is going to be an Eevee, which is going to be huge for us as Eevee has so much versatility as you can evolve it into Jolteon, Flareon, or Vaporeon once we get those stones. And then we're also going to come up and get a Minccino, who is great with Charm support and Encore support, so it's going to be a great utility mon for us moving forward on this team. Next up is the third gym leader in Berg, and Berg has three Pokemon in Swadloon, Dweeble, and Leavanny, all at the level cap of level 24, all Bug-type Pokemon. The first one up is going to be the Swadloon, where we're just going to lead our Growlithe here, and we're going to hit it with a super effective ×4 Flame Wheel, which is able to come in and get the clean one-shot. From here, it's going to be the Dweeble in next, who's actually the scariest Pokemon for us to deal with. So we're going to switch in the Minccino here, and we're going to take a Smackdown. Minccino is going to be providing some really good support here, so we're just going to hit it with an Encore, as we don't want any Bug-type moves coming in with Struggle Bug or anything with what our next switch is going to be. From here, we're going to come in and switch into the Sunkern, who can tank the Smackdowns pretty well, and doesn't take too much damage, as we are able to come in, take a second Smackdown before we're able to hit it with a Leech Seed, which again, Leech Seed coming in clutch here, getting that passive recovery off as much as possible. So we're going to heal back up a little bit, all the way back up to about 34 HP as the Encore ends. From there, we're going to switch in our Eevee, as we do have the help from the Leech Seed now, which is nice, as Eevee is able to stay relatively healthy. From here, we're going to continue to fire off returns to get as much damage down as possible. We're going to tank Smackdowns, heal up with Leech Seed, and eventually, with return, we are able to get the kill into the Sweeble, bringing it down to the last Pokemon, which is Leavanny. For Leavanny, we are just going to switch back into our Growlithe, as we have another super effective, 4 times effective Flame Wheel. We can tank a cut, come in, hit the Leavanny with a Flame Wheel, and get the clean knockout to earn us our 3rd gym badge. And we move on towards the Electric-type gym. But before that gym, we have one more encounter we can get in Panpour in Lostlorn Forest. He is going to be a great encounter for the long run of this challenge, so getting him here is super important, and we're super happy with it. Next up is Elisa, the gym leader, who has 3 Pokemon in Emolga, Flaffy, and Zebstrika, which is going to be very tough for us to deal with, but we are going to be using some little bugs in the AI in ability storage. So we're going to lead the Growlithe, who gets an Intimidate off, and who baits a Volt Switch from the Emolga. We're going to switch in our Jolteon that we evolved, who triggers the ability storage, meaning that Emolga thinks all the Pokemon on the rest of our team have Volt Absorb. So he's not going to be hitting any more Volt Switches, so we're able to come in and charm this thing down as much as possible, because the only other 2 attacking moves are Quick Attack and Pursuit. So we're going to continue to charm this thing down, get the attack as low as possible, before we can come back in with our Jolteon and set up as much as possible in order to take out the rest of these guys. From here, we're going to come in with our Sunflora, who we recently evolved as well. We're going to tank a Pursuit here, and we're going to get off a Leech Seed, as we love that little bit of passive recovery that we've been talking about in every battle of this one so far. So, Sunflora will heal up a little bit more as Emolga continues to stay in and not do much damage. From here, we're going to bring our Jolteon in, who tanks these quick attacks pretty well, and even if he gets crit, we're able to heal back up with the Leech Seed damage. So it leaves us a free opening to set up as much as we can with Workup. From here, we're just going to set up 6 Workups to get as much of an advantage leading into these next 2 Pokemon as possible. With the Leech Seed recovery and the limited damage from the Emolga, we're pretty free to set up as much as we can. So we're just going to continue to work up here, raise our attack as high as possible, and Emolga is just going to continue to hit us with super weak damage as we heal up with Leech Seed recovery. And you can see we're pretty much staying at full health through the whole part of this, so it is great. Another quick attack from the Emolga here before we are able to fire off return at +6, which is going to be easily enough to get the one-shot. Unfortunately, we do get hit with static. We did equip a Cherry Berry, but we might be in some trouble if we get hit on the static on the Flaffy as well. We come in, fire off another return, and fortunately enough, we do not get hit with the static. Last up is the Zebstrika, but it also goes down to the +6 return, so the Volt Absorb ability storage comes in huge for us to get the 4th gym badge of the run. Next up is straight into the 5th gym battle against Clay. It is a Lee Krokorok against our Panpour, who just comes in and hits a super hard Scald, which is able to get the clean one-shot into the first Pokemon of the battle. Next up is Sandslash, and Sandslash isn't super scary, so we're going to try to get some Intimidates off, get some Charms off, lower this thing's attack as much as possible before setting up with Sunflora. As the Sunflora setup seems to be the only consistent way to deal with this level 33 Excadrill, who is so powerful at this point of the run. So we get the Intimidate off, we bring in our Mini here, we do get hit with another Bulldoze and a Crush Claw, which we definitely have to dodge the crit here, which fortunately enough we are able to before we're able to get off a Charm, lowering its attack to -3 at this point after the Intimidate from Growlithe. From here, Sandslash is going to click Rollout, and because we got the Charm off, we were safe unless we got crit again, so we're going to get off another Charm here, lowering it all the way down to -5 before going into our Sunflora. It is clicking rollout, which is definitely a little bit scary as that rollout damage can continue to double every time it hits. So we're going to come in with the Sunflora and we're trying to hit it with a Grass Whistle to put it to sleep and to stop that rollout from coming through. Fortunately enough, we are able to hit the Grass Whistle here, and we need to get to +3 with growth in order to one-shot the Excadrill. So we're going to try to do that as Sandslash stays asleep, which is super nice for us. We're going to get a second growth off here as we continue to raise our special attack as the Sandslash continues to stay asleep, and we're going to get our third growth. So that is the extent of the setup that we're looking for. We still can be in a little bit of trouble depending on the moves that Excadrill does hit us with flinches and stuff. But we're able to come in, get the Giga Drain on the Sandslash, stay at full HP after that Giga Drain, having a good matchup against the Excadrill here. So Excadrill will come in. Unfortunately for us, he hits us with a Slash, which can't flinch us, meaning Giga Drain can just come in and get the clean one-shot to earn us our 5th gym badge. Sunflora coming in clutch, our original starter Pokemon, super nice to see. And yeah, we earn the next gym badge as we head towards Chargestone Cave and the Pokemon World Tournament. The Pokemon World Tournament, we can go to these counters and we can trade battle points for some very important TMs and other items. We get a bunch of TMs there, and on this counter we can get a whole bunch of different items like some stones, as well as some super important items like Wide Lens, Choice Band, Choice Specs, Choice Scarves, which is going to be super important for us getting through the rest of the run. From there, we're going to head over to Chargestone Cave, where we're going to get our next encounter, which is Dynamo. It is a great Pokemon. It's an electric type Pokemon with the Levitate ability, meaning it has no weaknesses at all, which is going to be huge. From there, we're going to head to the next gym leader in Skyla. Skyla is going to be super simple as we have a bunch of electric type attacks into the flying type Pokemon. So we're just going to lead our Jolteon into the Swoobat and fire off a super effective, super powerful Volt Switch into the Swoobat, which is going to come in and get the clean first knockout of the battle. From there, the Volt Switch will bring in the Electrike that we have. We are going to hit the Swanna with another Volt Switch, which is going to do super good damage again and get another clean knockout. So all that's left is the Skarmory, which we're going to come in, another Volt Switch with the Jolteon. Skarmory does have Sturdy, so we're not going to be able to get a clean one-shot into it, but we will knock it all the way down to the Sturdy, and we're going to switch out again into our next Pokemon, which is going to be the Arcanine, freshly evolved Arcanine, which is great. From there, Skarmory will outspeed us now because it is clicking agility, but we're able to come in and clean it up with a Flamethrower after the Air Cutter hits us here. So Flamethrower will come in and get the final kill of the battle, earning us our 6th gym badge as we are flying through this run, 6 badges in, and we have some more encounters we can get coming up to the 7th gym. The next encounter we can get is going to be a Litwick, who's going to be so important as Chandelure can put out so much damage with Flamethrower and Shadow Ball, and is most likely going to be on our Elite 4 team in this challenge. Next up, we can head to Indela Town and we can get a Staryu. Again, Starmie is going to put out so much damage with Psychics and Surfs, and probably is going to be a member of our Elite 4 team as well. Then we can get our last encounter in Roselia. Roselia evolves into Roserade, who also is super strong with stuff like Toxic Spike, Synthesis, Giga Drain. Lots of good utility for our team moving forward. Next up is the 7th gym leader in Drayden in Evolutionary City, who is the Dragon type gym leader, and it's definitely going to be a challenge. The lead is going to be a Druddigon, who we are just going to match up straight into with our Arcanine. We are going to hit some super powerful returns here. It's not enough to get a one-shot by any means, but we do have enough to get a 2-shot. So we're going to have to tank a revenge here as we get off a second return to get the first KO of the battle. So Druddigon is down. From here, it's going to be another fully evolved Dragon type in Flygon, who's going to be threatening. But Sunny, the Sunflora, does a pretty good job handling it. We're going to come in, tank an Earth Power, which is going to do quite a bit of damage, and it risks lowering our special defense, which unfortunately we do get hit by. From here, a second Earth Power will come in. Again, definitely threatening as we are -1 on special defense now, and unfortunately we get another special defense drop, which is looking very threatening now before we're able to hit it with a super powerful Giga Drain. Unfortunately, that Giga Drain is going to heal us up at least to 130 HP. Going to get hit with a third Earth Power here at -2 special defense, which is going to bring us down not quite to half as we hit it with another Giga Drain. and fortunately that Giga Drain is a high roll and is able to get the kill into the Flygon. So even with 2 special defense drops, we did a pretty good job of getting that Flygon out of here. Next up is the Haxorus, who is going to hit us with a quick Dragon Dance, which again looks very, very scary before we hit it with a Leech Seed to get that passive recovery off and hopefully whittle this thing down as much as possible. From there, we are very threatened with the Dragon Dancing Haxorus, so we're going to bring in our Arcanine to get an Intimidate off, which is super nice, bringing it back down to neutral attack before he hits us with a Dragon Tail. It is going to do pretty good damage before it switches us out and brings in our Electros. We do get that little bit of damage with the Leech Seed, whittling it down a little bit more as Haxorus goes for another Dragon Dance, getting it back up to +1 attack. More and more threatening by the minute as we hit it with Acrobatics with our Electros, doing very, very solid damage before it heals up a little bit with the berry that it has, bringing it back above half HP. We are going to get, again, that little bit of Leech Seed recovery as it goes for another Dragon Dance. +3 speed and +2 attack is looking very, very threatening. But fortunately for us, we are going to be able to come in, hit it with another Acrobatics, and take the Leech Seed recovery, which will knock out this Haxorus before it's able to hit us with any of that crazy damage. So down goes the 7th Gym Leader, and we come up to the next battle, which is going to be the 8th Gym Leader in Marlin. Marlin doesn't look threatening very much at all, as it is a water type gym leader and they have a good amount of electric and grass types that can take care of the water types here. We're going to lead our Roserade into the Caracosta, who's able to hit it with a super hard Giga Drain, bringing it all the way down to Sturdy before Caracosta goes for a Crunch. From here, Roserade is still looking pretty good as we do outspeed, and after a full restore from Marlin, we're able to come in and get it with another Giga Drain, keeping us very, very healthy as Wailord comes in. Wailord can also get hit super hard with a Giga Drain, so we're just going to stay in and fire that off, which is going to get another one-shot into the Wailord, bringing in its final Pokemon in Jellicent. From here, we're going to hit it with Toxic, as it does have Recover, so Toxic is a really good way to limit the continuous recovery, as Toxic will continue to build up damage onto the Jellicent here. From here, we're going to tank an Omnis Wing and come in and hit it with another Giga Drain, as Roserade is doing so much damage into this Jellicent right now. From there, Jellicent will come in and get us with the Cursed Body, disabling Giga Drain, so we will probably have to switch out to get another damage dealer in there, as Jellicent goes for another Omnis Win. Fortunately for us, there is no Omni Boost from either of those Omnis Wins, so we're looking pretty good. From there, we're going to switch in our Jolteon as Jellicent does click that Recover, which is the exact reason we wanted to set up the Toxic onto this Pokemon. From there, Jolteon will just be able to come and stay in and do some pretty good damage as we do fire off a Discharge into the Jellicent here, bringing it down below half HP, as Toxic damage will probably be able to get the kill, but he does go for another Recover, which is just delaying the inevitable, as it brings it up above half HP, as Toxic is able to bring it down into the yellow, and Jolteon is able to come in with one final Discharge, earning us the 8th gym badge of this run. And all we got to do now is take care of the bad guy team and can make our way up to the Elite Four. Before taking on the final Getsis battle, we are able to get one more encounter in the Giant Chasm in Clefairy, who will evolve into Clefable with a Moonstone, who definitely will help us out a little bit in this Getsis battle. Getsis is definitely a little bit scary, as they do have a lot of strong Pokemon like Hydreigon and stuff like that, but we are going to have a pretty good matchup into some of these. The lead is going to be the Cofagrigus, who we stay in with an Arcanine and hit it with a super effective Crunch. Cofagrigus is a little bit scary with Toxic, but we did equip a Pecha Berry onto our Arcanine to make sure we shrug off that Toxic with ease. It actually works out great, as Arcanine stays very healthy here. From here, we're able to fire off a second Crunch after Cofagrigus gets the leftovers damage, and that, fortunately for us, will get the kill as the first Pokemon for Getsis goes down. From there, it is going to be the Seismitoad that comes in. Seismitoad is definitely a little bit threatening, as it is going to fire off an Earthquake into our switch-in, which is going to be the Sunflora. Sunflora can do pretty well here, but it does have a super effective Sludge Wave, which we are going to have to shrug off and hopefully survive here. Sunflora comes in, takes the Sludge Wave like a champ, bringing it down to 84 HP. We're going to heal a little bit with an Oran Berry, as we are able to fire off a Giga Drain and get the clean knockout into the Seismitoad, which is going to bring down 2 of the Pokemon. Next up is going to be another threat in this run for our Sunflora, but it's a Pokemon we should be able to handle pretty well in the Electros. We're We're going to stay in and try to tank an acrobatics here to get as much damage off as possible. It brings us all the way down into the 50s of HP before we fire off that Giga Drain, getting the chip damage we need for Starmie to be able to come in, tank a flamethrower, and get the kill with Psychic. So Starmie comes in, tanks the flamethrower like a champ, dodges burn, and we're going to stay in and fire off a Psychic to get the clean kill into this Electros. And that's funny, a water type taking down an electric type. Great switch in from Sunflora into Starmie. From here, it is going to be the Drapion. Drapion is going to come in. We're going to switch in our Arcanine, who gets off an Intimidate and shrugs off a Night Slash here. Critical hits would definitely be scary, but it's okay. We're going to then switch in our Electros. We were really hoping that it would be an Earthquake that we could switch in on and dodge with our Levitate ability, but it was just Night Slash. We're going to have to stay in and tank a couple of those before we hit it with a Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt does some pretty solid damage, bringing it below half HP as we tank another Night Slash here. As a final Thunderbolt will take the kill on the Drapion as we're slowly whittling away at Ghetsis' team. Drapion goes down and comes in the hardest Pokemon of this battle in the Hydreigon. We're going to bring in our Arcanine here to get an Intimidate down. Dragon Rush is super scary, and we definitely don't want to be taking too many of those as the Life Orb slowly chips away at that Hydreigon. From here, we're going to switch in our Clefable on the Rock Slide, which we tank pretty well, as another Dragon Rush will come into our Clefable. We do have Recovery on our Clefable, which is super nice, and the Life Orb on the Hydreigon will slowly chip away at it. So we're just going to Moonline up all the way back to full HP, as we are in a pretty good spot after that switch in and after the Intimidate from the Arcanine. It's going to be another Dragon Rush, which fortunately for us does miss. We're able to get off a Body Slam for free, bringing it all the way down to the yellow as Dragon Rush hits again, and we're hoping to fire it off a last Body Slam to get the kill, but unfortunately it does miss, and Ghetsis will use a full restore here. With that, we're going to fire off another Body Slam. Body Slam doing a lot of damage, bringing it all the way below HP, half HP, and we do get a critical hit to bring it all the way down into the red. We are just going to go for Moonlight, as one final Dragon Rush will knock out the Hydreigon because of the Life Orb. It does miss, so we don't get the kill there, but then this Dragon Rush hits, takes it itself out with Life Orb damage, as our Clefable is able to end the turn on full HP with a great matchup, Clefable versus the Hydreigon, coming in absolutely clutch for us. And finally, we have one last Pokemon to take care of, and that is the Toxicroak. We are going to switch into the Starmie, as it is a fighting type move coming into our Psychic type Pokemon that we can shrug off super well, and Starmie can definitely get the one shot with Psychic, but we are going to have to survive a Sucker Punch. So the Sucker Punch comes in here. It is very, very threatening, but we do survive it on 49 HP as we're able to fire off a final Psychic to get through this Ghetsis battle absolutely deathless, which is so huge for our team. And not much left to do before we get all the way up to the Elite Four and take on the final challenge of this run. As we make our way up to the Elite Four, we have one more encounter we can get in Victory Road, which is going to be the Petalil. Petalil seems like it could be super, super good, as it does evolve into Lilligant, who does get Quiver Dance, which is an amazing setup move and could be very useful in the Elite Four. From there, we have one last battle we have to take care of, and that is against Hugh, our rival. This is the only battle against Hugh that we're showing, because Hugh isn't super threatening, and it continues to not be super threatening here. It is going to be an Unpheasant lead, who Jolteon can just easily stay in against and take a straight kill with Discharge. And there's only 3 Pokemon left on this team. A critical hit didn't matter, it was a clean one-shot regardless. From here, it is going to be Bouffalant. We are just going to fire off a Volt Switch, as it is very threatening with Earthquake. So we are going to Volt Switch off into our Levitate Pokemon, which is going to be our Electros, who won't take any damage from the Earthquake, and just easily will be able to take care of this Bouffalant from there. So Electros comes in, and Earthquake comes in, and Levitate saves us. From there, it is going to fire off a Head Charge, which is pretty threatening. It does do pretty good damage, but Electros does shrug that off very, very easily, as it gets a little bit of recoil damage, and Thunderbolt is able to get the kill and fire off the second kill of the battle. From there, it is going to be our opposing starter Pokemon in Samurott, who Electros, again, is able to come in pretty cleanly and fire off a one-hit knockout with Thunderbolt. And finally, all that's left is a Simisage, where we can bring in our Arcanine and fire off another clean kill with a Flamethrower. We are going to have to shrug off a couple attacks before we're able to get that Flamethrower off, but it is just an energy ball here, which we tank very, very easily. And then a rock slide, which we tank pretty well, but we are risking some stuff to a flinch. But fortunately for us, we tank it, and we don't get flinched, and we're able to fire off the flamethrower for the final kill. And that is the last battle before we head into the Elite Four, which is super, super exciting, and it's going to be quite the challenge for this team of Evolutionary Stone Pokemon. But before the Elite Four, we get one more encounter, which is going to be super, super important for us in our champion battle in Vulpix. We're able to get up to the Abundance Shrine with Waterfall and catch this Vulpix, who's going to be a very, very key member against Leader Iris, which is going to be super threatening. From there, all that's left to do is to show you the team for the Elite Four. We are going with Starmie with Surf, Power Gem, Psychic, and Light Screen, Ninetales with Will-O-Wisp, Captivate, Extra Sentry, and Flamethrower, Simipour with Surf, Low Kick, Workup, and Acrobatics, Chandelure with Shadow Ball, Flamethrower, Will-O-Wisp, and Memento, Chinchino with Captivate, Charm, Return, and Encore, and finally the Roserade with Giga Drain, Toxic Spikes, Protect, and Synthesis. A good mix of some setup that we can potentially have with our Simipour and some good stat lowering moves with Captivate on both Chinchino and Ninetales, as well as Charm on Chinchino. And there we go. Let's head into the Elite Four and complete this challenge. The first two members of the Elite Four are going to be very, very simple in Caitlyn and Chantal, as Chandelure does an unbelievable job handling both of those, so it is going to be a pretty simple way through. First up, we are going to take on Caitlyn. Caitlyn is the Psychic type gym leader, and it's going to be Elite Musharna. Chandelure, fortunately, is able to just outspeed and get the one-shot into the Musharna, taking care of the first Pokemon. Next up is going to be another Pokemon that is going to be another Psychic type, which isn't going to be super threatening at all, in the Sigilyph. Again, Chandelure cleanly comes in, hits a super, super hard Shadow Ball, which whittles that Sigilyph all the way down to another Faint. From there, it is going to be the Gothitelle who comes in, and guess what? Another Shadow Ball comes in and takes this thing out. That is 3 straight knockouts for our Chandelure. And finally, the last Pokemon on this team is going to be the Reuniclus, and guess what? Chandelure comes in and takes it out in one shot as well. A super, super straightforward Elite Four battle against Caitlyn, because we did have that super powerful Chandelure. So Caitlyn goes down, 1 down, 3 to go. Next up, we are going to go up against Chantal, who is a Ghost type leader. And guess what Chandelure does? He hits Ghost types super, super hard with Shadow Ball. And he is very, very fast with some speed EVs that we are able to give him. So the battle against Chantal begins. We are, of course, leading our Chandelure, and it is a clean one-shot again into the Cofagrigus. That is 5 clean Okos in a row, which is absolutely huge for Chandelure. Cofagrigus goes down. From there, it's going to be Golurk, and guess what? Another Shadow Ball kill. That's going to be 6 in a row, and I think you're guessing the theme for the rest of this battle is going to be clean, clean for Chandelure. After Golurk is going to be the next Ghost-type Pokemon, which is going to be the Drifblim. And again, we outspeed and we kill with the Shadow Ball, 7 kills in a row. And the only Pokemon left on this Elite Four team is going to be the opposing Chandelure, who we also come in against and get another clean one-shot. Those are the 2 easiest Elite Four members I've ever had to face because we had the Chandelure. It is going to get a little trickier from here though, as Chantal goes down, and the next Elite Four member we're going to have to fight is Grimsley with the Dark-type Pokemon, where we're not going to have a clean sweep for that battle at all. Grimsley is going to lead with the Dark-type Liepard, who isn't super threatening as it is just a Liepard, so it shouldn't be too much trouble out of the gate. We are just going to come in straight with our Chinchino here. It is going to fire off a Fake Out, which is actually going to be super beneficial to us as we flinch, but then we're able to fire it off an Encore, blocking it into Fake Out, which can't do any damage to us at all. From there, we're going to fire off a couple returns as Fake Outs fail completely, and these returns are going to do pretty solid damage and get the Liepard all the way down into the yellow HP. From there, we're going to fire off another return after a full restore, and we are going to get the kill into the Liepard. The first Pokemon goes down. From there, it is going to be Scrafty, where we are going to switch in our Simipour as Rock Tomb comes in, hits us, lowers our speed, but that's not going to matter at all, as we still outspeed and are able to fire off an Acrobatics with a Flying Gem boost. And with that, it is another clean one-shot that we can get into this Pokemon. 2 Pokemon down on Grimsley's team, only 2 to go. From here, it is going to be the Crocodile that comes in. We are going to switch in our Starmie, who's holding an air balloon, which means we aren't going to take any damage against the Earthquake, as we're able to come in and fire off a super effective, super powerful Surf, which is going to take out the Crocodile as well. So that's 3 Pokemon down, 1 to go, and it is the ace of the team in Bisharp. Bisharp does threaten pretty good, but we're just going to switch straight into Ninetales on the Night Slash. And with a Fire Gem boosted Flamethrower, we're able to come in and get a clean one-shot. We do get critical hit, but we survived it anyway, so we were definitely always safe to that Night Slash, as the Fire Gem Flamethrower comes in, takes out Bisharp, and takes out the 3rd member of the Elite Four, where all we have left is Marshall, who is a little bit more threatening than the rest of them, but Grimsley goes down, and on we go to Marshall for the final battle of the Elite Four before Champion Iris. Marshall is definitely a little more threatening, as we can't just fire clean one-shots into all of its Pokemon, as Sock does have the ability Sturdy, so we're going to have to do a little bit more of a setup into these fighting-type Pokemon. But the lead isn't going to be super threatening, as it is just Throw. Throw, not super... has Guts ability, but as long as we don't damage it too much with any status, it shouldn't be too much issue. From there, we're just going to set up a Toxic Spikes around the opposing Pokemon's feet. We're going to dodge a Rock Tomb, which is great, as we come in and hit a Giga Drain. Giga Drain is going to do some pretty decent damage, and we need a little bit of chip damage for Starmie to be able to come in and get the kill. We do miss another Rock Tomb as we switch in our Chinchino here, who tanks the Rock Tomb great. We're hoping to be switching into a fighting type move, but unfortunately it is not the fighting type move. But fortunately for us, Bulldoze doesn't do anything because we do have our air balloon, meaning Psychic can come in and get the clean one-shot into the Throw. 1 Pokemon down, and we do that with Toxic Spikes coming down as well. Next up is the Mienshao, who is not much, doesn't really hurt us too much, as it goes down straight to another clean one-shot from Psychic. Next up is the Threatening Sock, where we're going to come in. We don't want to get hit with this Payback into our Starmie, so we're going to switch straight into the Roserade here, as we tank that super well, as Sock does get poisoned from the Toxic Spikes. From here, we're not going to do too much. We're just going to switch straight back into our Starmie here, who tanks the Rock Slide, and because the little bit of Toxic Spike damage has gotten rid of its Sturdy ability, we're able to come in and get another clean shot with Psychic into this Sock here, leaving only the Conkeldurr left. With Conkeldurr, we're going to come in straight up, fire a super hard Psychic. This Conkeldurr does have a Citrus Berry, and it does just barely hold on, and because it does have the Citrus Berry, the poison will not recover it up here. But fortunately for us, it just does go for a bulk up, which is absolutely fine, as Psychic is just going to be super threatening, too fast, and too much damage for this Conkeldurr to handle. From here, it is going to click a full Restore, which is going to get rid of the poison and heal it up all the way, but again, Psychic is going to be too much, and we are faster, so we shouldn't be able to get hit by any other moves. From here, again, clean Psychic, bringing it all the way down, and we will get the high roll on this one, which will get the clean knockout into Conkeldurr. And there, one more battle to go for this run. Marshall goes down, and all that is left is Champion Iris. Iris' team is very threatening, but because we were able to get that Ninetales in the Abundant Shrine right before this battle, or right before the Elite Four, it is going to help out a lot, and we were super fortunate that that Ninetales was male, and that was only a 25% chance of happening, so we did get super lucky there. And with that, it is going to be the champion battle against Iris, and it is going to be the lead Hydreigon from Iris, which is super threatening with a lot of coverage. We're just going to come straight into our Ninetales here and hope we can tank a couple of Surfs so we're able to get off as many Captivates as possible, lowering this thing's special attack as much as possible. So we dodge crit on the first one, and we get off the first Captivate to bring this down to -2 special attack. From there, we're going to stay in with another crit dodge on the Surf, which is huge for the Ninetales, as we get off another Captivate to bring it all the way down to -4. We want to stay in for one more and risk it. If Ninetales goes down, we have the means in the back to take care of this team. Surf comes in, and Ninetales dodges another critical hit as we hit it with another Captivate, bringing it all the way down to -6. Ninetales has done its job from here. It is time to switch out, as we are going to go into our Chinchino on another Surf. Surf comes in, hoping to dodge a critical hit, but unfortunately, Surf will get the critical hit into our Chinchino here, but we are able to tank it. From there, we are going to encore this in as we want to lock it into Surf for as many turns as possible as Hydreigon hits another Surf. Fortunately for us, we are able to dodge the critical hit this time as Chinchino survives on 26 HP. From there, we're going to bring in the Simipour, which is super great as Surf is not going to do very much to us, especially at -6. And we're going to be able to start to set up with Work Up. Work Up is going to set us up, and fortunately for Simipour, he outspeeds every single Pokemon in the back on this team. So if we're able to get up as much setup as we need, we should be able to get the clean sweep the rest of the way through. Encore ends, so it's not going to be another Surf, which is a little bit scary as we fire off another Work Up here, getting us off to +2. As Hydreigon comes in and is going to hit us with a much more threatening Dragon Pulse over the Surf. But fortunately for Simipour, we are able to survive that and survive at 109 HP. And now at +2 attack and special attack, we're able to come in and get the knockout with Low Kick onto the Hydreigon. As the next Pokemon comes in, which is going to be the Lapras. But fortunately for us, Lapras goes down to another Low Kick. That is 2 Pokemon down, 4 to go left on this champion team for Simipour to take care of. After Lapras is coming in the next Pokemon, which is going to be the Druddigon, who with Ice Beam is going to go down clean as well. 3 down, 3 to go. Lots of knockouts coming for the Simipour here, the MVP of this champion battle. Next up is going to be the Aggron, and I think it's pretty safe to say we know that Aggron is going to go down to a Surf here, especially at +2. And it does have the Rock Head ability and no Sturdy, so it goes down in one shot. Next up is going to be the Haxorus, who is definitely a little more threatening as it does have a Focus Sash to dodge any one-hit KOs. But fortunately for us, it doesn't see any kills with any of the moves it has left, so it is just going to go for a Dragon Dance, and which is super nice for us as it is going to be a full restored turn on the next turn, which means our Earthquake is going to be able to come in and get the clean one-shot as the Focus Sash has already been used up. So Heal comes in, and Spout is able to just fire off the Ice Beam, which is going to take out the Haxorus, and all that's left between us and victory is the Archeops. And Archeops is just outsped and outdamaged 100% by Spout, so that is going to be another clean kill, earning us the victory against Iris and winning the run. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this run of this game. Playing with Evolutionary Stone Pokemon only has definitely been a challenge, as we only had 12 Pokemon that we were able to encounter over the entire run, but somehow we were still able to get through this challenge without a single death all the way through the Elite Four and Champion. If you enjoyed this content, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we are going to be firing off a lot more Nuzlocke content in the future and over the next few months, and I'm really excited about it. And yeah, if you enjoyed, please like, please subscribe, and hopefully we'll see you along for more journeys along the way. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.